There are so many games that I could be reviewing right now that I know the algorithm would love, especially if I added the right thumbnail. I could be reviewing Valhalla, Redfall, Jedi Survivor, and, well, obviously Golem. But look, a farming sim, let's go! I haven't played a farming sim in a long time, so when a bunch of them popped up in the latest PS Plus refresh, I thought I'd give one a try. I thought about trying a Harvest Moon title, but for some reason the character design in the recent ones looked really unappealing. So I went with some other farming franchise, the one on the title of this video, Story of Seasons. More specifically, I went with Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town because it sort of reminded me of that one Harvest Moon game on the PS1, Back to Nature. The character design for the main male character borders on plagiarism, I thought. But fine, whatever. So, I fired up the game, and as soon as I saw this tiny man with a really large top hat telling me my grandpa left me his farm after kicking the bucket, I realized this is Harvest Moon Back to Nature. What the fuck is happening here?
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Alright. Apparently, there was some juicy backstage drama involving the original Japanese Harvest Moon developers, Marvelous, and their North American publishers, Natsume, who were also responsible for translating the games from Japanese into English. In 2012, Marvelous decided to discontinue their licensing agreement with Natsume so that their own subsidiary, Xseed, could translate and publish their games in the West. Natsume obviously was not happy with this, and after a legal dispute, Natsume were able to keep the Harvest Moon branding, so Marvelous had to change the name of their following games in the franchise to the new Story of Seasons moniker, while Natsume started churning out completely unrelated games under the Harvest Moon name. Are you following me? You just have to know that now Story of Seasons is Harvest Moon, and Harvest Moon is not Harvest Moon. Got it? Alright. Apparently, Marvelous has also gotten into that whole milking nostalgia business and have been remaking, remastering, and re-releasing everything they can from the Harvest Moon days under the new Story of Seasons umbrella. And that's how we ended up with this remake of the remake of the remake of Harvest Moon Back to Nature. And looking at it, I started wondering if they had even done anything to the game at all, until I checked what the original actually looked like and realized that, yeah, this is a remake from the ground up. It is an interesting take on what a remake could be, not completely faithful and not changing a bunch of shit up. It looks and feels now how you probably remember it, without any of that whiplash we get when playing a 20-year-old game as they were. There are good quality of life improvements, but nothing that will fundamentally make it a different game. You still have to water your crops every day, you still have to brush and milk cows, forage, mine, sell your harvests, clear land, participate in a bunch of festivals, make friends, make love, and make sure you don't fall asleep with all the coziness and chill vibes. If patches were a thing back in the 2000s, Back to Nature would have probably become Friends of Mineral Town with enough time. Speaking of the quality of life improvements, you can now water and collect anything in the central tile of the 9-grid farming patch, which is great. Animals also go back inside automatically at 8 PM, so you don't have to worry about forgetting your cows outside and then feeling bad about it. There are also multiple cattle breeds for you to choose now, like a pink cow which produces strawberry milk, a brown cow which produces lattes, and a yellow one which produces fruit milk? I don't know, that one is weird. We all know yellow cows produce banana milk, but that's okay, I guess. I'll give them some wiggle room for biological inaccuracies. We also get more animals like rabbits and alpacas because why not? You can also get PETA on your ass, as you now have to buy your pets, and we're not just talking about cats and dogs here, you can also buy a capybara and a penguin. So you know that Van, the guy who sells you your pets, is part of some seriously nasty international animal trafficking ring. And do you know who introduces you to this man? The Harvest Goddess. I wouldn't be surprised if she were the head of the whole operation. Look at her, all blasé and not caring for my gifts. I'm on to you, woman. Speaking of gift giving, I feel like Harvest Moon is one of the main culprits responsible for a generation of screwed up straight men who believe they can just throw gifts in women's faces and that, with time, they'll get rewarded with love. but that idea does not fly in the current zeitgeist, and Story of Seasons knows that. So, they have course-corrected with the times. Now, everyone gets to be raised with this faulty mentality, as there is now a female main character and you can date pretty much anyone you want in the game regardless of your gender. You can romance men, women, and supernatural beings. Pick one and shower them with gifts until they love you back. Just try not to replicate this in real life, you creep. As for me, I went with Potpourri because she's my official Harvest Moon waifu. Who's yours? Let me judge you in the comments down below. Her and I had a hard time on this one, because I would throw an egg on her face every single day until her heart was throbbing and red at the mere sight of my avatar, but she still wouldn't marry me. What the fuck? I deserve love. I thought I might have to get her family approval, so I started to shower her brother and mother with gifts as well, until I realized her brother's heart was rapidly changing colors. And not wanting to end up on Dr. Phil, I've decided to check in and check an online guide to see what I was doing wrong. You're a hero, Frank Knight. So, apparently it doesn't matter if your love interest's heart is already red, you have to go through all of their specific love events before they can accept your proposal. Which is weird, because if I recall correctly, in the original the evolution of the heart color would freeze until the next one of these events was triggered. So, because in this remake the colors just evolve regardless of the events, I just forgot they existed. So yeah, that's a glaring issue. But you know, fine, I still got to marry Potpourri in the end. What else? Oh, the soundtrack was one aspect that they did not improve on whatsoever. It is so repetitive, it will drive you nuts. The summer song, especially, is dreadful. It feels like purgatory having to do all this busy work while listening to it. I mean, look at this. What else? Oh, do not participate in the chicken festival. Every other animal festival focuses on how cute and fluffy your animal is, but when it comes to chickens, the game forces you into a cockfight. What in the actual fuck? These are not even roosters, these are chickens. I can't even look Omelette in the eyes after unwittingly putting her through that, man. It's awful. I also have to mention that the nature sprites who can work on your farm if you befriend them behind the church are sort of weird. Paying them for their hard work with bags of flour and the power of friendship just feels icky. But apparently they just love it, according to Marvelous. We should keep an eye on that company just in case. All in all, if you haven't played any form of the original and don't care for nostalgia, this one isn't really that recommended because in spirit, it is still a PS1 sim game, with the expected limitations of a PS1 sim game. Characters are very limited in what they say or do, and even with the quality of life improvements on the farming side of things, it can still get pretty boring after a while, like the mining thing, Jesus. Overall, you can do better right now. For instance, in one of the million webinars during Not E3, I heard they are also remaking the PS2 Harvest Moon title, so you could wait for that. Or, you know, just go play Stardew Valley. Speaking of that, I wonder if in this wave of remakes, Marvelous will ever tackle the OG. Since Stardew Valley borrows so much from that SNES classic, I wonder what the reaction would end up being among people who have never played the original. We'll see. And that's it for this video. I hope no one got offended by anything I said. I didn't want to be mean here. It's all in good fun so we can all have a good time together. I hope I have brightened your day just a little with my subpar editing and irritating voice. If I did do it, then please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you when I see you.